So today I'm going to talk about the chart of Krishnamurti, and I'm going to look at the Primal Triad only. I'm going to try only to do that, and which means the sun, the moon, and the ascendant. Okay, they're rulers, and just talk about the meanings of those placements and planets and how they manifested in his life and in his approach to life. So let's start with a quote. When one loses deep, intimate relationship with nature, then temples, mosques, and churches become important. And there's another quote that's similar to that. He says, when we lost touch with nature, then the priests came in. So to me, this is deeply Taurus. Okay, so Krishnamurti's sun is in Taurus, right? And it's in the third house of communication with its correlation to Gemini, and of the third house of writing and speaking and learning. So he was the messenger. Now, Taurus is many times correlated with nature. Because the thing about Taurus is this understanding the wisdom in simplicity. Now, there's a very fine line between simplicity, which can just be stupidity and all superficiality, and wisdom, the wisdom of being simple. A very thin but fine line. And Taurus represents that, the high manifestation of that. Now, what does that mean? If you look at a tree, don't run to the dictionary, to Wikipedia, and look up the name of that tree, where it grows, and in which season does it blossom, or whatever. Okay? Look at the tree, feel the tree with the totality of your senses. That's another quote from Krishnamurti. And Taurus is about the sensual body, which again takes us back to nature. Because with Taurus, we don't want to complicate things. The opposite sign, Scorpio, that's when we're going to complicate. Well, that's when we're going to dig into our psychological nature and look at what's underneath and analyze. But with Taurus, we're going to find that place that's completely still but completely alert. So that's how Krishnamurti is, to me, the ultimate Taurus sun sign. And in the third house, as I said, communicating this understanding, right? Through words, through conversation, through writing. Okay, let's move on to the moon. And the moon is in Sagittarius. Now, one of the archetypes of Sagittarius is the philosopher. Okay? Sagittarius is on a quest to find the meaning, the big, asking the big questions. What is the meaning of life? Why are we here? What is the meaning of our very existence? And for Sagittarius, which is also the sign of travel, the gypsy, that is, of making the whole world your home, the travel can also take place in the head, in the realm of, philosophizing. Sagittarius is also very much about freedom, basically the freedom to travel to those places, and principles, right? beliefs. Sagittarius used to be called the sign of religion because I think religion is a way of providing the answers to those big questions. Why are we here and what's the meaning of it all? Now, the really high embodiment of Sagittarius is to understand different religions and philosophies and theories, but not to get stuck in one of them and say, okay, I've reached the ultimate truth, because then you're slipping into the shadow side of Sagittarius, which expresses in fanaticism and dogma and just being extremely opinionating, because I found the truth and truth is on my side, God is on my side, is a quote from a Bob Dylan song. And all the rest of you, worst cases, you can all die for all I care. Now, Sagittarius is also the archetype of the scholar and the teacher, or the student. So Krishnamurti had a deep concern for education. And he wrote, one of his books is called On Education. He talked about a lot about the rotten educational system and the way that schools condition the children to be obedient. So I'll just read this quote, and we'll just think of his Sag moon. So if there's to be any kind of social change, there must be a different kind of education, so that children are not brought up to conform. And this moon being in the 11th house, the 11th house is about the collective, the general public. It's about the tribe that you belong to, but not in an intimate way. So I see his moon manifesting in the fact that he traveled the world wide and spoke to groups of people, to young children and to anyone that wanted to listen. And what I love and about Krishnamurti and also, which to me is the highest manifestation of Sagittarius, again, is one of his talks. He reads a letter, a question that was, the person wants to know what he thought about, does he believe in God? Does he believe that in reincarnation? And first of all, Krishnamurti never gave answers. That was his whole thing. I mean, he was against the idea of being a guru and having followers. So we'll get to that, Aquarius. But it's very alluring and fascinating to me to listen to him, because you feel that he knows. He knows. He knows. But he is not going to give you that knowledge, because he claims nobody can give. Truth is a pathless land. You have to look inside and discover the truth for yourself. Okay? So he reads that letter and he says, first of all, he says something like, from the sublime to the ridiculous. I don't know. Sometimes he's quite condescending, and maybe not condescending, but he's like, he's angry. He really wants to get his point across. And he starts talking, and then he says, first of all, I don't believe in anything. Okay. The high road of Sagittarius is seeking, always seeking and pondering, and asking, raising questions. And then, the archer goes out to expand. But again, once you think you've reached the ultimate answer, then you're not on that journey anymore, and you're falling into the what do you call it? The trap the shadow side of Sag, okay? So I don't believe in anything. Now, I believe that his rebellion against authority was ignited by the tragic death of his younger brother Nitya, with whom he moved as a child from India to England to join the Theosophical movement, and that was his condition for leaving his hometown, was that if his brother came with him, because they were very close, and he obviously wanted him there in that completely new world, new life, new culture. So when they were already in their adulthood, and Krishnamurti was already giving speeches for the Theosophical movement, and Nitya, his name was, the younger brother, became ill with tuberculosis. And Krishnamurti was about to leave and travel somewhere to give a talk, but he was reluctant to do that because he wanted to stay by his sick brother. And the heads of the Theosophical movement said to him, "Don't worry, you can go because your brother is being taken care of from above and he'll be okay." And lo and behold, on his he was on a ship to, I forget where, he received a telegram with the message that his brother had died. And from this point onward, everything changed for him. Okay? So I want to read you a quote which reflects that Aquarius rising of his, the sign of the rebel, the genius, and also the outcast. Now, since Aquarius is his rising sign, Uranus rules his chart, and we'll get to that soon. I'm going to read another quote of his. "To be free of all authority, your own and that of another," so your own authority as well, "is to die to everything of yesterday so that your mind is fresh, young, innocent, full of vigor and passion." And then he says in another quote, "Leaders destroy..." It's just so provocative and beautiful. I love it. And rebellious, of course. "Leaders destroy the followers, and followers destroy the leaders." Think about that, okay? He has a book called Think on These Things. Beautiful. Leaders destroy the followers. So that to me is Aquarius. Okay, so thanks for listening to that. I hope it was interesting. In my next video, I am going to look into the karmic story of Krishnamurti. That is going to be fascinating. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you later.